Previously on Mushroom Journeys.
Spice bush swallowtail caterpillar, shrimp of the woods. Hello, chickens. Oh, see a big white mushroom. Think. Look at it. Yeah, that is a big white mushroom. Whoa, white and yellow. This is the lynx paw. A bit rarer than the pale or pearl oysters that we usually find. The lynx paw is called the lynx paw because it has remnants of the veil around the edge of the cap, which look kind of like a little claw coming out of the side of a tree, especially when they're younger. One of the more rare and impressive oyster mushrooms you can find, although culinarily it's not very exciting. It's just kind of chewy and bland. Usually just want to cut off the cap part. The stem can be quite tough and it's usually full of bugs. You can find these in a large grouping, usually on hardwood trees. I usually find them on oak trees, but although I found them on other hardwoods, and they can get quite big when they fully open up and mature. These have a white spore print and they will only be growing on wood. All right, cool. Let's move on and head to a new area. See if we can find any lion's mane mushrooms.
It's mushroom time, it's mushroom time. Let's go outside, see what we find. It's mushroom time, it's mushroom time. It's time for mushroom journey.
Very nice. Got a classic Sprite bottle with the divots. That's a cool one. I'll keep that. Look what we got up here. Have a very nice fruiting of pheasant's back or Dryad saddle. Some big ones. Not too old. This one would be perfect to eat. We just went over these in a video last month. But those are nice and edible when they're young like this, not when they're big like that. Oh, there's some nice ones up there. But check this out. Check out that coral tooth fungus. Nice. These can be found all over the world and can be found any month of the year, but the peak frequency for finding this mushroom is right about now in early September. One of the three lion's mane or Hericium genus type mushrooms you can find. This one is very heavily branched, reminiscent of coral, teeny tiny kind of fractal branching patterns. The lion's mane will be a ball like this, but it will have more of icicles hanging down, and the bear's head tooth will be kind of in the middle. More branchy, icicles hanging down, but yeah, not much of a ball shape. You can see this one is just getting yellow on the tips. You don't want to eat any yellow or brown parts of a white mushroom. Always cut those off. Has a very pleasant, almost like sweet, on the verge of lemony, mushroomy smell. It's a really great smell, and a really great taste and texture, I think, as well. In addition to the benefits that a lot of mushrooms have, vitamin D, high quality dietary fiber, beta glucans that are immuno-boosting and immuno-regulating, the lion's mane type mushrooms are known to be good for you neurologically. If taken over time, they have done studies that show they can improve your mental cognition and memory. It's always a pleasure to come across one of these. Well, I don't see any lion's mane on our old beach log here. So they can refruit for up to 5 years on the same log. But that giant one came out a little later in the fall, so I'll keep checking back. But I do see some other mushrooms down here. That we can take a look at. We've got some nice fresh artist conks coming out of the stumpy area there. Nice white fertile surface on those, ready for etching. I'll leave them be. And here we have the first resinous polypores I've seen. Usually you find these later in the fall, but as soon as the temperatures get cold, they'll come out. Quite a number of them just emerging here. Have kind of a fuzzy brownish reddish top and a nice white pore surface. And these are very watery, very soft in texture. And they have a good flavor. It's a good edible mushroom if you can find it and get it when it's nice and young. But yeah, once these get a little older, lose their water content, they dry out and become a hardwoody conch, and you can't eat them at that point. But when they're young like this, that's a pretty good mushroom. All right, let's see what else we can find. So here's some mushrooms up here. A nice little cluster of honey mushrooms, a nice honey colored cap. And we have these kind of whitish long stems with some scaling. There's a wood decomposer. I often find them at the base of like oak stumps and other rotting deciduous wood, well aged. There must be some wood underground here, some old roots or something that this mushroom is decomposing. But yeah, it's been chewed up quite a bit, but that is a delicious edible mushroom. You just need to cook these extra well, as they can cause gastric upset. So I recommend parboiling them for at least 5 minutes prior to cooking them. This type of honey mushroom is found all over the world. You can find it August through January, though peak observations are in early October. And hanging out by our honey mushrooms, we have some clusters of white mushrooms emerging. And I'm wondering if these are the aborted Entomoma mushroom. Oh, look at the mycelium down there. Aborted Entomoma should have a pink spore print, so let's take one of these home. Let's see if we can get a pink spore print. Kind of see a little pinkness forming there, but that would make sense, as these do hang around the honey mushrooms, and there are aborted Entomoma honey mushroom shrimp of the woods forming nearby as well. The shrimp of the woods. While we're over here, we should probably check on this big oak tree, see if there is a Berkeley's Polypore. There was one at the base of this tree last year, so we better check it out. Big old white oak tree. 100-year-old tree probably, and yep. Look at this giant Polypore mushroom. Last year it was on the other side of the tree, and a little bit bigger. But yeah, that is one heck of a mushroom. Beautiful. Bondarzaria Berkeley. This is an edible fungus, although it doesn't taste like anything. I've heard it called diet chicken of the woods. Not too common, but hard to miss if you run into one. All right, let's cross the street. Gnarly. Yeah, I don't really see anything over here. It has been pretty dry lately. Oh, but it does look like we might have some mail in the mailbox. Let's check it out. Yep. Looks like we got a message and some photos from Marty in Indianapolis. Marty asks, do you have a video for this shiny mushroom? He sent some photos. Yes, Marty, I do have a video for this mushroom, but it's an amazing coincidence. Just when I pulled up a little earlier in the truck, I noticed some of these reishi mushrooms. So let's go check them out. So here's one of the best mushrooms you can find, in my opinion. You have some reishi mushrooms, the mushroom of immortality. This is an amazing medicinal mushroom. You often find these growing on maple wood, although I found them on persimmon and other woods. But this was an old silver maple. Here's a nice big one, although it is completely inundated with grass. These will have a kind of like deep, rich, shiny red top, and they don't often have much of a stem, but sometimes if they're growing up from the ground, they'll have more of a stem and also be this deep, rich, shiny red, followed by kind of orangey colors, and the leading edge and the fertile surface will be a cream color, which can bruise brown after handling. This particular species of reishi or varnish mushroom, the Ganoderma sessile, is found throughout the Americas and other parts of the world. You can find them any month of the year, but their peak frequency is right about now in September and October. This is a mushroom that's been used in Chinese medicine for more than 1,000 years. It's one I do enjoy making tea from. I just slice it into like 1/8 inch slices, let it dry out on a rack on my kitchen counter or outside. It dries pretty fast, and then put like one slice in a cup of water and steep it for 30 minutes to an hour, or let it sit for even longer. It has a nice calming yet stimulating effect, good for like reading a book or watching a movie at night. But I wouldn't use a mushroom from the ground like this, full of grass and dirt. You really want to find one that's growing on the side of a tree that's nice and clean. That's a great mushroom. That's it for today. I'm Michael File. I'll see you next time on Mushroom Journeys.